Human behavior is often a response to deep internal calculations. Sometimes these calculations lead us to a decision that, while perfectly logical to us, seems confusing to the outside world. This is especially true when a choice challenges a fundamental social norm. One of the most prominent examples today is the very personal, very deliberate decision to remain child-free. This decision is often met with a barrage of standardized, almost scripted questions. Who will take care of you when you're old? But don't you like kids? And the most common dismissal, you'll change your mind. But from a psychological standpoint, these questions miss the point entirely. The reality is, this choice is rarely rooted in a simple dislike of children. The true reasons are almost always far more complex, more personal, and more carefully considered. This isn't just a fleeting phase, it is a profound, valid, and often logical life choice. When we analyze the motivations, we can often identify three common psychological frameworks. The first profile is what we might call the practical planner. This individual's decision is anchored in logic, pragmatism, and objective mathematics. These are people who have honestly assessed their financial situation, their career demands, and their current resources. They've looked at the staggering costs of living, and the numbers simply do not support adding another person to their household. Imagine a young couple, both working demanding jobs, who are already struggling to cover rent and student loan payments. Their internal monologue isn't, I don't want a child. It's, I can barely provide for myself. How could I responsibly provide for the diapers, the daycare, the medical bills, and the college funds? For the practical planner, this isn't a rejection of family. It's an acknowledgement of the immense financial and emotional responsibility that parenthood demands. They believe it would be fundamentally unfair to bring a child into a situation of financial instability. In their view, choosing not to have kids is the most responsible and caring decision they can make. The second common type is the anxious realist. This person's choice is driven by a profound, and often heavy, sense of responsibility. This responsibility manifests in two ways: anxiety for the world and anxiety for the self. Some look outward at the current state of global affairs. They see climate change, political polarization, and persistent economic uncertainty. They ask a deeply ethical question: is it fair to bring a new life into a world facing such immense challenges? Others look inward. They may have a personal or family history of significant mental health struggles. Or perhaps they endured a difficult, traumatic childhood themselves. Their primary motivation is a deep desire to break a cycle. Their greatest fear is passing on their own pain or repeating a pattern of trauma they worked so hard to overcome. For the anxious realist, remaining child-free is not an act of selfishness. It is a deliberate act of protection. They see it as the most compassionate and ethical choice they can make for a child they will never have. The third profile is the fulfillment seeker. This individual defines happiness and a meaningful life on a path that does not include parenthood. This isn't a choice against children, but a choice for a different kind of life. They place a high value on personal freedom, autonomy, and flexibility. They thrive on the ability to travel spontaneously, to dedicate grueling hours to building a career they love, or to dive deep into passions and hobbies that nourish them. These individuals are often very self-aware. They are honest about what truly brings them joy, a life that may be calmer, more orderly, and financially free to pursue their own goals. They often see parenting as a beautiful and valid path, but one that would demand the sacrifice of the very elements that make their own lives feel complete and meaningful. They have chosen to build their legacy through their work, their art, their community, or their personal growth. So, the next time you hear someone say, I don't want kids, it's worth pausing before rushing to judgment or offering a tired cliche. Each person is carrying their own truth, their own logic, and their own carefully considered reasons. It's important to remember a simple truth. Having children doesn't automatically make a life more meaningful. It makes a life different. Meaning is something that each of us must find and create in our own unique way. The conversation doesn't end here. We want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these profiles resonates most with you? Or if you feel these three don't capture your experience, tell us about the fourth type. If this discussion helped you see this choice in a new light, help us continue the conversation. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more insights into human behavior.